this started with an idea. Actually, two separate ideas came forward, and we sort of married this into what you see now today. So I was in a meeting with Sandia and Mike Cronin, Derek Sensabaugh on decorations for the 250. And we were talking about bunting. And Sandia pulls out her phone, and Sandia shows me a photo that I had never seen before of an arch that was put on the battle green in 1875. And my immediate thought was, we have to do this again. I don't know how or where or why, but we have to do it again. And it stuck with me. It was probably 6-7 months ago. Fast forward a couple of months later, and maybe around the same time, Sarah Bothwell Allen came forward to the commission with an idea of volunteer service. And she said, how can we do something related to the 250th that has volunteerism associated with it? My first thought was, I don't understand, what is she talking about? This doesn't make sense. But as she explained it, and as we talked through, the men and women who fought on the battle green and fought for our freedom were volunteering their time and energy. And, it sort of struck a chord with me that, yeah, this is a great project for the 250th. These two ideas ended up getting married sometime after that. Spending hours and hours on the phone with Mona, trying to figure out what do we call this. And we came up with the concept of the VO250, VO meaning volunteer, which is our old phone exchange. VO is 86. And so the old days when you called the operator to make a phone call, you'd say, volunteer 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's sort of how the program and all that came together. And then the genius behind all this was really these guys over here. So I have been blessed with having a wonderful brother-in-law, but on top of that, he's very talented. So my brother-in-law, Eric Campbell, you all don't know him. So Eric was the muscle, brains, energy, and power behind the calendar. So when I called, which was beautiful. So when I called him a few months ago and said, what do you think about doing another project? He didn't hang up on me, which was good. And he was really excited, and obviously you can see all the hard work paid off. And then John Flanagan, who made an unbelievably amazing eagle that's at the top. I was expecting sort of a rough sketch of a piece of wood or something like that. And John, is a real amazing guy, amazing talent, and was able to create this. A lot of that work and the beauty of that was John's, brain and inspiration. I think the thing looks phenomenal. So we're just so blessed and thank you, John, for everything. The guy that got us over the finish line, both with the calendar and with this project, was Chris O'Neill over there. Chris, thank you for everything. Chris was the muscle behind making sure this thing actually got to place. Couldn't have done it without Chris. There's also a few people on staff that I have to thank that I don't see here, which I wish they were here. But Kyle, who works for the Department of Public Facilities, was instrumental in getting this thing put together, as well as Carl, who works for that. And I want to thank Mike Cronin, even though he's not here. Mike said to me when we were pulling, before we put the arch on stage, Mike said, what are you going to do to make sure it doesn't fall over? This was I'm like, Mike, I'm not worried about that at all. It's not a concern. So, but I want to thank Mike because he never said I told you so. So I appreciate that. And, I want to thank everybody on the team that worked with the VO250 Awards program, because that was also another huge undertaking. We tried to invent something new this year that we'd never done before. And I thought it was fabulous, except for that one little incident where the arch fell. But, it did. So hopefully we'll get some better publicity today, and new publicity. But we're going to cut a ribbon, and I'd like to ask Sarah and Sandia and Mona to also come up. Right. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
I know, of course, yeah.